For the past 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, Nigeria has been having challenges that are beckoning and waiting for answers and solutions. That is why we are bringing to you our program, State of the Nation. And this is going to come up on our flagship program this morning on ITV. I am hereby inviting you to join me, Bola Bakare, your host, on State of the Nation, so that we can hasten the motions that brings national development. It's going to be a regular basis on Tuesdays. Make it a date with me. I'll be there waiting for you, and then we shall discuss Nigeria on an holistic level.
Welcome back. From what you've seen from our viewpoint, I am sure you share that same notion that child marriage is not the right thing. If you're a girl, you shouldn't go through that kind of an experience where you're too young to be married off. If you're a mother, you play a serious role in this case. Because in most cases, whatever happens to the girl child, the mother knows about it. That's one. On a second basis, the mother has the experience of a woman, because she was once a girl child before she became a mother. All the pains, all the discomforts that the girl will go through when she's been into a forced marriage, the mother knows because she has experienced it before. But the only advantage she has is she experienced it when her body was matured enough to do that element of procreation, which is honestly the purview of the female. But the watchword here is, it is us, the parents. I'm not saying the mother alone this time. It is us, the parents, that have a duty to make sure that we do not give our child away when she is too young. Honestly, our constitution says it, that child marriage is against the law. But the thing is, it is the parents, we the parents, that go against the law by giving away these girls when they are immature, when they are too young. Let us all, as parents, guardians, take a cue and make sure that we do not, I repeat, we do not give our children away when they are not ripe. To use that word in quote, when they are not ripe means matured enough to be given away in marriage. And after this viewpoint, our second discussion segment will take off shortly. And that our discussion is going to border on COP27, climate change and how it affects Nigeria. Let me give you a short brief. We've had COP25, which happened in Paris. We had COP26, which was in Glasgow. We're having COP27 as we speak in Egypt, Sham Sheikh, that's the name of the place. But the general thing here is simple. Climate change is something that has been with us. And nations are gathering together to say, what should we do about this climate change? I did not tell you what is happening to us in Nigeria or what happens to us on a grand scale about a few weeks back. As I speak with you, Bayelsa State is still inundated in water. Delta State is being inundated in water. And a few other riverine states. Though the water level is receding, but the damage that has been done is huge. Millions of people, our people, fellow Nigerians, have been displaced. Farmland that guarantees our food security has been inundated, in some cases washed away. The houses, the structures, some structures can no longer stand. If we have to think in terms of our safety, the structures will not stand because the water has so gotten into the structures, it has made them weak. And on the morbid side, there are even situations where this heavy rainfall and heavy flooding exhumed bodies from graveyards. the bodies floated out, which brings in a case of pure dirty water and a case of ill health, which is something we do not pray for. But it is something that is happening. And that is the reason why this COP27 is happening in Egypt, Sham el Sheikh. But the truth is, the Western world that are the culprit, let's to use that word, they are the ones that generate enough carbon to deplete the ozone layer that makes the sun get to us more and heat up the place. Right now, the temperature of the world is going up by 1.6 degrees centigrade. If we continue like this, most countries will go away. Like there is a country that is called Maldives. That country is 6 inches below sea level. All they are praying for is so that the situation does not get worse and the whole nation is being washed away. At COP25, whatever COP they have to until the 27 that we have, all they are discussing is one simple factor of saying, okay, we, the Western world, the industrialized nations, we are going to make funds available to the so-called third world or developing nations because it affects them the most. But as at COP25, they agreed to make available $100 billion every year per annum for developing nations so that they can mitigate the effects of climate change. But I'll tell you one truth. As at the time, as at COP25, they only made available $40 billion. As at last year, they made available between $50 and $60 billion. In actual fact, what I'm saying here is they are not making available enough funds for us, the developing nations, to be able to manage the effects of global change. What we're praying for, by the time they finish at COP27 in Egypt, maybe they will be able to say, okay, let's give them the $100 billion so that they can mitigate the effects. Because like I said earlier, the effects are huge. People are displaced, farmlands are gone, structures like houses are gone. Some even lose things like even your vehicles, because some of these waters are so strong, they take vehicles away. Imagine the case of Pakistan. Nearly a third of Pakistan is inundated. A lot of places were washed away. When I say washed away, you will see a whole house, not even a bungalow. Story buildings were washed away. And this is as a result of the industrializations of this so-called first world. There was a forum I was in some time back, and then we were discussing this element of the monies they are supposed to give to us to mitigate the effect, and they are not given. One thing I said at that forum was, it sounds like a case of after killing us, they are giving us monies to go and bury ourselves. They are the cause of all this. They are not trying to stop manufacturing. They keep at it. What I'm looking at here is there is a form, it sounds like hypocrisy. One, I'm talking about the industrialized nations now. You are the ones depleting the ozone layer. You are the ones that are creating serious climate change. The glaciers at the poles, both north and south, they are melting. This is by virtue of what you're doing. And at the end of the day, you suffer the brunt too. It gets to you too. Because there are instances in America, the two industrialized nations, most industrialized nation of the world, America and China, they do have their own flooding too. But at the same time, they have the infrastructure on ground to manage and mitigate the effect. Why I'm talking about hypocrisy here is simple. We've been having all these corps, 25, 26, 27, and next year we're going to have 28. But the thing is, how much of an effect are we getting from this? As at the one that happened in Paris, there are protesters there. The next one that happened in Glasgow, there were protesters there. There were earth lovers there that are saying, what are you busy saying here? You're just talking. It's just semantic. It's just rhetoric. You are not walking the talk. And that is one thing that we have to look at closely. We are bearing the brunt of what the industrialized nations are doing to us. But the funny thing is, we are all in this together. It's just like what the Yoruba people say. If you're pointing a finger at somebody and you're calling him a bad name, always remember that the remaining 4 fingers are pointing to you. But manage we must. Manage we must. In Nigeria here, we have institutions of government, MDAs, that are trying as hard as they can to mitigate this effect of climate change. We have the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development. They are there doing their bit and making sure that they mitigate the effects of climate change on the people. They are all over Nigeria as we speak. Because when the flooding came, even northern states that are somehow at times are dry, but they had flash floods. They are there trying to mitigate this. The Ministry of Water Resources and all its departments, they are giving us the information about what is going to happen. We have NIMET, we have NISA, they are giving the information. But what I want to say to you, my everyday people, is this. There are some kind of flooding you cannot do anything about. We only pray to God that it doesn't kill us. But there are some minor floodings that if we listen to the information being passed by all these institutions of government, when they tell us that, okay, at this particular time, there is going to be rainfall. If you are living along low plains, coastal lines, next to rivers, kindly relocate. This brings to mind what we all saw in the case of Lokoja. Lokoja was a very, very sorry sight. It was a sight that deadens the heart, that makes one cry sometimes. But the thing is, for those of us that have traveled along that axis, one thing about Nigerians, I'm a Nigerian too, about you, our everyday people. The moment the water recedes, you will find my people, they will go there and start building houses. At times when you're on that Lokoja bridge, before you finish the bridge, you will find houses there on that low level. Houses will be there. So what I'm saying to you, our average everyday Nigerian is this. Listen to the information that is being given. Move away from the low plains to higher ground. And then when it becomes a deluge that we can't manage, trust us Nigerians, we are heavy prayers. We pray to God that a situation that we cannot manage does not befall us. But the truth is, as a global village, the industrialized nations are virtually killing us. But the thing for you and I is to make sure that they don't kill us. Let us have that living spirit. That spirit that says never die, never say die. Because you need a strong mind, a strong will to be able to sit back and look at your house being inundated in water. Or sit back and look at your farm being inundated in water. But the thing is, we shall endure. And with God on our side, good things shall happen to us. The thing here is, let us have faith. Let us keep faith. Because it is faith that will keep us going. We need that faith to keep going. We really, really, really need the faith to keep going. And that is why I will tell you Nigerians on this note, please, please, and please, listen to information from the departments of government and make sure you run. I repeat myself. You run away from all those areas where the waters will get to you. And on this note, I would like to say thank you to our viewers